I grew up in Monticello, Florida. And like every other fourth grade boy in the First Baptist Church that grew up there, I was taught in Sunday school by Desmond Dude Bishop. Now, he was quite a character. He was the superintendent, or should I say the king, of the public school system in that county. Actually, he was much more than that. More on that later. First, let me kind of set the stage for you. Growing up in the 60s and 70s, I came to know Desmond Dude Bishop. He was a legend in rural Jefferson County, Florida. Now, Monticello is the only incorporated city in that county, so it serves as the county seat. Although, to this day, there's not a stoplight there. Not long ago, when they built the new fire station, they did put a blinking caution light. But there are several surrounding communities with exotic names like Osceola, Wakena, Wassissa, and even Tueg. Situated just 30 miles east of Tallahassee, Florida, almost everybody in Monticello is an FSU fan. Well, almost everybody. Not Dude Bishop. He was a Gator fan, and a very influential one. He used his influence to get the University of Florida to situate one of their agricultural research centers in Jefferson County. Remember the Los Angeles Rams' fearsome foursome? Fred Dryer, Merlin Olsen, Larry Brooks, and Jack Youngblood. NFL Hall of Famer Jack Youngblood is from Monticello, Florida. Guess where he got his scholarship? That's right, the University of Florida. And I'm sure that Dude Bishop had something to do with that. In fact, I'm pretty sure he had everything to do with it. Dude Bishop proudly wore his University of Florida ring. Oh, that Gator ring. That brings me back to that fourth grade Sunday school class. Dude Bishop ruled that class in the same style that he ruled the public schools. Any boy misbehaving was introduced to Dude Bishop's University of Florida Gator ring. He would turn the face of that ring to the inside of his hand and kind of smack you upside the head. You know, kind of like the slap you see from Gibbs on CSI. And I think every boy in that class carries the signature, yeah, right there, of that ring. For as long as I knew him, he taught that fourth grade boys' Sunday school class. And for as long as I knew him, he was the superintendent of public schools in Jefferson County. You know, Dude Bishop was a strong leader, but he was also a strong Christian. He led that poor little rural county school system with distinction through some very rough times. The administration building today is named after him. I remember it was the early 70s. The orders to desegregate the schools came down from on high. Tensions were high. Parents, both black and white, looked to Dude Bishop to do something about it. That's when I really got to know Dude Bishop. Not as a bold, swashbuckling, and bravado leader, but as a humble man of God. You see, my parents were among almost every parent who looked to Dude Bishop to do something. He visited our home personally. I remember my mother had an idea that I think would have worked. Her idea was to desegregate the first grade this year and then continue that until 12 years later, the entire school system would be desegregated. And of course, she proposed that idea to Dude. In fact, she pleaded with him. Surely he could do something. Those were her exact words. His response to my mother resonate in my mind to this day. This is bigger than I am. We're going to have to work things out. What? The powerful Dude Bishop surrendering? Far from it. While other white political leaders were doubling down on segregated schools, Dude Bishop stood boldly for what he knew was right. His words were not those of a powerless and impotent leader surrendering. His words were those of a wise man of God called to lead a very segregated constituency on a journey to racial equality that continues to this day. At the time, it wasn't popular on either side. Well, I went to the desegregated public school for 1 year. My parents then sent me to private, think white, schools. Now, my parents were not racists, but try to understand that in the early 70s, the idea of whites and blacks showering together after football practice was just more than they were equipped to handle. Well, I was at the gym yesterday, and I go there around noon. And there's a group of men that work out during their lunch hour. And after we work out, we engage in the usual men's locker room talk. Not very interesting to you ladies, and probably not even appropriate either for here. But yesterday, as we showered, the conversations continued. And as we were drying off, it occurred to me that we've come a long way. Both my mom and Dude Bishop are in heaven today. But if they were here on this earth, there's something I would tell them. Mom, I showered with a black man. It's okay. Dude, thank you. Well, that's what I think. I'd like to know what you think. Would you mind leaving your comments in the space provided on this page? And you can also connect with me on Twitter. Right there. I am at DataGenesis. You can also find the text version of this video on my blog. The address is, up there. If you find this video inspiring, there are others, and I am not the only author and contributor. There are others, and if you would like to find out more and perhaps be inspired, please subscribe to this YouTube channel.